It was a quiet evening, the kind that Alex often relished after long days filled with the usual rush of work. The apartment was warm, dimly lit by the soft glow of overhead lights, and the silence was only broken by the occasional hum of the city far below. It was supposed to be a peaceful night, a time for Alex to unwind and escape the usual grind, but little did they know, this would be an evening they would never forget. Alex had just gotten out of the shower, a towel wrapped around their waist, hair still damp. They stood in front of the bathroom mirror, wiping off the steam with the back of their hand when they heard the doorbell ring. Not unusual. Alex had been expecting a package. The doorbell rang again, a bit more urgently this time. Sighing, Alex walked out of the bathroom and padded down the hallway toward the door. As they reached for the handle, something caught their eye. A shadow in the hallway. They froze for a second, heart racing. Was someone there? The apartment was small and there was no reason for anyone to be outside their door at this time. But before Alex could second-guess themselves, the door swung open. Standing on the other side was Zara, their new alien roommate. Zara had arrived just a few days earlier, still adjusting to life on Earth. With her tall, slender frame, lavender skin, and glowing, intricate markings across her arms, she didn't exactly blend in with the average human. She had been a quiet, enigmatic presence in the apartment, offering polite nods and limited conversation. Alex wasn't sure what to make of her. She came from a different galaxy, and they weren't even sure if Zara could fully grasp human customs. But that was all. About to change, Zara, clearly startled, stepped inside before Alex had a chance to react. Her large eyes blinked in confusion as she glanced around the room, her focus shifting to Alex. In that very moment, Alex realized that they were standing there, still wrapped in a towel, dripping wet, and completely unprepared for the situation unfolding in front of them. Zara froze. Her lavender-colored skin took on an almost violet hue as she stood there, staring, her wide eyes unblinking. Alex could feel the heat rising to their face, embarrassment flooding their chest. They instinctively tried to cover themselves with their hands, but it was futile. The awkwardness was undeniable. Zara? Alex stammered, hoping for some kind of reaction, but Zara didn't move. She stood there, her eyes scanning Alex's body with what could only be described as intense curiosity. Alex wasn't sure whether Zara was completely unaware of the concept of privacy, or if she was simply processing the unexpected situation. Zara? Alex repeated, a little louder this time, still trying to make sense of the alien's reaction. What are you doing here? I thought you were in your room. Zara blinked and then slowly, her head tilted to one side, as if something didn't quite add up in her mind. She opened her mouth, but no words came out at first. The awkward silence hung between them like a thick fog. Alex? Zara finally spoke, her voice soft and confused. Your body. It is different. Naked. Why are you naked? You have no coverings. Alex's eyes widened, the reality of the situation hitting them like a ton of bricks. Zara didn't understand. Of course she didn't. She wasn't human. But the embarrassment Alex felt was palpable. Zara had been raised in a society where modesty in the human sense didn't exist. She had no concept of what it meant to be dressed or undressed in the way humans did. I wasn't expecting anyone, Alex stammered, feeling their face burn with every word. I was just, taking a shower. Zara took a slow step forward, her gaze still fixed on Alex. Her expression was a mixture of confusion and fascination, as if she was seeing something entirely new. She spoke again, her voice curious. You wash your body like this often? Is this how humans stay clean? I thought you required coverings. How can your skin be exposed? Alex was caught in a dilemma. How could they explain human modesty to someone who had no concept of privacy, modesty, or even clothing? Zara's gaze was inquisitive, her alien, features softening into something resembling intrigue. Well, yes, Alex managed to say, trying to keep it together. Humans, we wear clothes most of the time. It's just, it's, well, it's a personal thing. Zara blinked again, her eyes widening as the pieces of the puzzle started to fit together in her mind. But you are not cold. You do not need protection? Alex bit their lip, trying to suppress the laughter that bubbled up inside. Well, we wear clothes for a lot of reasons, not just to stay warm. It's about, privacy and, well, modesty. Zara's brow furrowed, and she took another step closer, her curiosity growing by the second. So, it is not that you are cold, but that you are hiding yourself. From me? Alex could only nod helplessly, feeling more awkward by the second. This was definitely not how they had imagined their evening would go. But Zara, as usual, was more concerned with understanding than with the social norms of Earth. She was fascinated, asking more questions, her genuine curiosity starting to feel almost endearing. And just like that, Alex found themselves in the most bizarre and uncomfortable conversation of their life, standing naked in front of an alien roommate who had no idea why humans were so particular about modesty. But little did Alex know, this was just the beginning of an unforgettable journey with Zara. The unexpected encounter would lead them to more awkward moments, more laughs, and ultimately, a deeper understanding of one another. The audience would be hooked, waiting to see what would happen next. Could Alex and Zara's unlikely bond survive the cultural clash? Would their friendship grow stronger after such an embarrassing moment? Only time would tell, and this video had just begun to unfold. The awkwardness from their first encounter lingered in the air as Alex and Zara stood facing each other in the middle of the apartment. Zara, her lavender skin glowing softly under the dim lighting, was still visibly confused. Alex, still trying to get over the embarrassment, slowly lowered their hands, realizing that there was no point in hiding. After all, Zara was an alien who had no concept of privacy in the human sense. Zara stood there, her large eyes scanning Alex, her gaze lingering curiously on the towel that Alex was still wearing around their waist. Her inquisitive nature had kicked into overdrive, and she began to ask questions faster than Alex could respond. Why do humans wear these coverings? Are you not comfortable with your body? Zara asked, her voice full of genuine curiosity. I have seen you without them before, but you were hiding then. You do not need to hide your body from me. I do not understand. Alex chuckled nervously, trying to think of a way to explain something so simple to Zara, who had no concept of modesty or privacy. Well, it's complicated, Alex said, scratching their head. In human culture, we wear clothes because it's a part of our society. It's about personal space, modesty, and respect for others. It's not that we're uncomfortable with our bodies, it's more about keeping things private. Zara tilted her head, her pointy ears twitching slightly as she processed this new information. Private? But I do not understand. How can something be private? There is nothing to hide. It is all just your body. My species does not cover ourselves in the same way. Why do you do this? Alex took a deep breath. Zara was very literal in her understanding of things, and this cultural gap seemed insurmountable. Yet, Alex couldn't help but feel a sense of amusement as Zara's wide eyes gazed up at them with unfiltered curiosity. Zara wasn't judging them. She was simply trying to understand. Well, Zara, humans value privacy, Alex explained. For us, it's important to have moments where we can just be alone and not have to worry about other people seeing us. It's about respect, not just for ourselves, but for others too. Zara blinked a few times, processing Alex's words. I see, she said after a long pause. But I do not feel the need for such boundaries. My species believes in openness. Our minds and bodies are connected, and there is no shame in who we are. You humans hide parts of yourselves. Why? The question hung in the air, and Alex didn't quite know how to answer. Zara wasn't wrong. Many cultures on Earth had practiced openness, but over time society had developed norms around modesty and privacy. For a being like Zara, who had no experience with such things, it must have seemed strange. Still, Alex didn't want to dismiss Zara's curiosity. She was their roommate after all, and Alex had to find a way to explain these customs, in a way Zara could understand. "It's not about shame, Zara," Alex said carefully. "It's just how humans have learned to live together. We have different ideas about what's acceptable to show or not show. It's not a bad thing, it's just how we live our lives." Zara seemed to be thinking deeply, her bright eyes flicking back and forth as if processing an algorithm in her mind. Then without any warning, she stepped closer, her presence looming slightly. She was tall, much taller than Alex, and the curiosity in her eyes was overwhelming. "So," she said, "if your species is so concerned with privacy, why do you live so closely together in these buildings? Why not stay in isolation if your bodies must be hidden from others?" Alex blinked, taken aback by Zara's directness. "Well, we live together because we need social interaction," Alex explained slowly. "Humans are social beings. We form connections, friendships, and families. We work together to make the world better. It's just that some things, like changing clothes or being in your most vulnerable state, are best kept private." Zara nodded, but her eyes were still filled with questions. "So you form connections, but there are limits to these connections. You do not share everything with others, like your body, your thoughts." Alex hesitated. They had never really thought about how different things must seem to Zara. She had no concept of privacy, no understanding of why humans chose to keep certain things to themselves. Zara didn't know about the barriers humans placed between themselves and others, barriers built to protect both their emotional and physical well-being. "I guess that's true," Alex admitted. "Humans do keep some things to themselves, not out of malice, but out of respect for others. It's a balance. It's not always easy to explain." Zara seemed to mull this over for a moment before speaking again. "I find your species to be so fascinating, Alex," she said, her voice filled with awe. "You hide things, but you also share things. You have so many rules about what you can and cannot do with your bodies and your minds. It makes you unique." The compliment caught Alex off guard. Zara was right. Humans had so many complexities, so many unspoken rules and norms, but for the alien, these complexities were new and exciting. Zara wasn't judging them for it. She was simply learning. It felt like Alex was teaching Zara about something so fundamental, and yet so difficult to explain. "I guess we are a bit complicated," Alex said with a small smile. "But that's what makes humans interesting. We have all these different ways of thinking and feeling. It's what makes us, us." Zara smiled, her alien features softening, and Alex felt a surprising sense of connection. Despite all the awkwardness, despite the confusion, something was starting to form between them. It wasn't just about understanding human modesty or the way humans live. It was about two very different beings trying to figure each other out in the most unexpected of circumstances. "So, when do I learn more about these human boundaries?" Zara asked, her voice now lighthearted. "I feel like I have only scratched the surface." Alex laughed, realizing that this alien roommate of theirs had much more to learn about Earth than they ever imagined. But somehow Alex didn't mind. It was a strange, bizarre situation, but they couldn't help but feel grateful for the bond that was slowly forming between them. "Well, Zara," Alex said with a grin, "you've got a lot to learn, but we'll take it one step at a time." Zara nodded enthusiastically, her alien eyes gleaming with excitement. She had no idea how far this curious journey would take her, but Alex could sense that the adventure was just beginning. And in this strange, awkward, and funny encounter, Alex realized that maybe they were learning something too, not just about Zara, but about themselves. The scene ended with both of them standing there, awkward but oddly comfortable in their shared confusion, ready for whatever came next. The journey of understanding was just beginning, and the future looked like it would be filled with laughter, misunderstandings, and unexpected lessons. The days following the awkward encounter between Alex and Zara were filled with a mixture of laughter, confusion, and a growing sense of understanding. Zara, the alien roommate from another galaxy, was still grappling with the idea of human modesty and the concept of privacy, and Alex found themselves becoming both her teacher and confidant. What had started as a simple misunderstanding had now evolved into a deepening friendship, albeit one built on awkward moments and unintentional hilarity. Zara was genuinely fascinated by humans and their customs. Every day brought new questions and challenges as she tried to navigate this strange new world. Alex, while still somewhat embarrassed by the initial encounter, had started to enjoy Zara's curiosity. She had a way of seeing things from an entirely different perspective, which made even the most mundane aspects of human life feel fresh and interesting. One evening, after a long day of learning about human culture and the complex nature of personal boundaries, Alex and Zara were sitting together in the living room. The apartment was quiet, the soft hum of the city outside the window providing the only background noise. Alex was reading a book, trying to relax after a long day, while Zara sat across from them, flipping through a human magazine that Alex had lent her. Zara's eyes were wide as she studied the pictures, her mind clearly absorbing everything in sight. "Alex," Zara suddenly said, her voice softer than usual. Alex looked up from the book, their attention drawn to Zara, who seemed unusually serious. "Yes?" Alex asked, setting the book aside. There was a change in the air, a shift that felt significant. Zara hesitated, her fingers nervously tracing the edges of the magazine. "I've been thinking a lot about what we discussed the other day, about human privacy and modesty. I think I understand it now, but there's something else I need to ask." Alex raised an eyebrow, intrigued by Zara's sudden shift in tone. "What's on your mind?" Zara took a deep breath, as if gathering the courage to ask something important. "I've been feeling something I didn't expect, something different." She paused, her eyes meeting Alex's with a mixture of uncertainty and vulnerability. "It's hard to explain, but I think I might be starting to understand human emotions in a way I never have before. And I'm starting to feel something for you, Alex. Something that is more than just curiosity or friendship." Alex's heart skipped a beat. They had always known that Zara was different, an alien from another galaxy, trying to understand human life and emotions. But hearing Zara admit her feelings was something Alex hadn't expected, not in a million years. They felt a rush of emotions themselves, confusion, surprise, and a strange warmth in their chest. You're feeling something for me?" Alex asked, their voice shaky as they tried to process Zara's words. It was all so unexpected, so out of the blue. Zara nodded slowly, her lavender skin almost glowing in the dim light. "Yes. At first I thought it was just fascination, but now I realize it's more than that. I feel connected to you, Alex. I don't know if it's love or something else, but it's a feeling that I didn't anticipate, and it's confusing, because I don't know if this is something I should feel, or if it's just an alien misunderstanding." Alex was silent, for a moment unsure of how to respond. The situation was so complicated. Zara was an alien and Alex was human. There were so many barriers between them, not just physically but emotionally. They had only just begun to understand each other, and now Zara was revealing something that made their already complex relationship even more tangled. I don't know what to say," Alex admitted, feeling a swirl of emotions inside them. "This is all so new. I didn't expect this, Zara. I'm still trying to figure out how to live with you as a roommate. And now you're saying you're feeling something more?" Zara's eyes dropped to the magazine in her hands, her expression shifting to one of uncertainty. "I understand if this is too much for you. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just wanted to be honest with you. I've never experienced anything like this before. Where I come from, emotions are different. But with you, it's like I'm seeing them for the first time. I don't want to scare you." Alex took a deep breath, the weight of the situation settling on their shoulders. Zara was being vulnerable, and Alex couldn't help but feel a sense of sympathy for her. Zara wasn't human. She didn't have the same understanding of emotions and relationships that Alex did. But despite the cultural differences, there was something undeniably genuine about what Zara was saying. I'm not scared, Zara. Alex said, their voice steady. I just don't know how to process all of this. I mean, I care about you too. You're my roommate and I've come to trust you, but I never imagined this. Zara looked up, her large eyes full of hope and fear. Do you feel anything for me, Alex? Or am I just a curiosity to you? Alex paused. The question hung in the air, heavy with meaning. They had never expected to find themselves in a situation like this, but there was no denying the emotional bond that had formed between them. It wasn't romantic, not yet, but it was something real, something that went beyond the typical human-alien interaction. It was complicated, confusing, but undeniably real. I think I'm starting to feel something too, Alex admitted quietly. But I don't know what it is yet. I don't know if it's just the oddity of living with an alien or if it's something more. But I do care about you, Zara. A lot. Zara smiled faintly, relief washing over her face. That is all I needed to know, Alex. I don't expect anything from you. I just wanted to share what I've been feeling. Alex nodded, feeling a strange sense of peace. This conversation, while awkward and unexpected, had brought them closer in a way they hadn't anticipated. It wasn't love, at least not yet, but it was something deep and meaningful. They didn't know what the future held, but they knew that they had started a journey together, one that was filled with uncertainties, but also with the potential for something unique. As the evening wore on, Alex and Zara sat in silence, both lost in their thoughts. The revelation had changed things between them, but it hadn't ruined their friendship. If anything, it had made it stronger, built on the honesty and trust that had formed between them. They didn't have all the answers, but for the first time, they were both willing to figure it out together. And so the awkward revelation marked a turning point in their unusual friendship, one that would lead them down a path of discovery, not just about each other, but about themselves. The adventure was far from over, and in the days to come, Alex and Zara would continue to navigate the complexities of their relationship, one step at a time. The days following their heart-to-heart conversation were both peaceful and awkward. Alex and Zara continued to live together, their friendship evolving in ways neither of them had expected. Zara, still trying to understand human emotions and relationships, was more open and curious than ever. Alex, though initially uncertain about Zara's feelings, was starting to appreciate their alien roommate in a way that transcended mere curiosity. There was a growing bond between them, one that was still undefined but undeniable. One evening, as they sat on the couch together, quietly reading their respective books, Zara suddenly put down her book with an expression that was both determined and nervous. Alex looked up from their book, sensing the shift in the air. Alex, Zara said, her voice more serious than usual, I have been thinking a lot about our relationship, about how we interact, about what we feel. I feel that I need to make a decision. Alex blinked, their heart racing a little. The tone in Zara's voice was heavy, as if she was about to say something important, something that could change everything. What do you mean? Alex asked, setting their book aside, suddenly concerned. Is something wrong? Zara hesitated, her lavender skin glowing faintly in the soft light of the apartment. No, nothing is wrong. But I have been feeling something deeper than curiosity or just friendship. When I said I didn't know if it was love, I was wrong. I do feel something stronger than I initially realized. I feel a connection to you, Alex, one that I have never felt with anyone, not even with my own kind. Alex's heart skipped a beat. They had sensed that Zara's feelings were growing, but hearing it so directly left them in shock. Zara, Alex started to say, but Zara quickly interrupted them. I don't expect you to feel the same way. I understand that I am an alien, and this connection might not make sense to you. But I have made a decision. I have decided that I want to be with you, Alex. Not as just a roommate, not as someone from another world, but as someone who feels something real for you. Alex's mind was spinning. This was the moment they had been both expecting and fearing. Zara, the alien, they had lived with for weeks was telling them she wanted to be more than just a friend. She was laying her feelings bare, and the weight of her decision was too much to ignore. "Zara, Alex stammered, unsure of how to respond. "I don't know what to say. You're right. It's hard for me to understand all of this. You're from another world. I'm just human. What you're saying is, it's a lot to take in." Zara nodded, her expression softening. "I understand. I didn't want to pressure you. I just wanted to be honest with you. I am making this decision not because I expect something from you, but because I can no longer deny what I feel. And I believe that honesty, even if it's difficult, is the most important thing." Alex felt a whirlwind of emotions. Confusion, fear, but also something else, something warm, something that, despite their uncertainty, they could not ignore. Zara's honesty, her vulnerability, touched Alex in ways they hadn't expected. It was a strange, unexpected connection, but it was real. "You're right," Alex said quietly, their voice trembling with emotion. "This is a lot to take in, and I can't promise you anything. But I do care about you, Zara. I don't know if what you're feeling is love or if it's just something else. But I care about you. You've been there for me in ways no one else has. And that means something." Zara's eyes brightened slightly, a small glimmer of hope shining in them. "So you're not rejecting me?" Alex shook their head. "No, I'm not rejecting you. I need time to understand everything. I've never had to deal with something like this before. It's new, and it's scary, but it's beautiful. What we have, what you're offering, it's beautiful, Zara." Zara's expression softened, a small smile tugging at her lips. "I can wait. I don't expect you to make a decision right now. I only wanted to share my feelings with you, because you matter to me, Alex." In that moment, something shifted. The tension that had been building between them for so long dissolved. Zara wasn't asking for anything more than Alex's honesty and their understanding. The decision wasn't about choosing between them as roommates or lovers. It was about understanding the connection they had, a connection that transcended their species, their cultures, and their differences. It was about finding a way to live together, no matter what. Alex took a deep breath, feeling a strange sense of peace. "I don't have all the answers, but I promise I will try to figure this out. I'm not ready to make any decisions about our future, but I want to understand what this all means." Zara's smile widened, her eyes warm with understanding. "That is all I can ask for, Alex. We will take it one step at a time." And so they did. The next few weeks were filled with conversations, awkward, difficult, but filled with understanding. Alex and Zara talked about everything, from their feelings to their fears, from their differences to the similarities they were discovering. The more they learned about each other, the more their bond deepened. They weren't rushing into anything, but they weren't shying away from what was real. The connection between them was undeniable, and slowly, they began to understand that it wasn't about labels or expectations. It was about the journey they were on together. In the end, the unexpected decision Zara made was not just about her feelings. It was about the courage to be vulnerable and the willingness to explore the unknown. For Alex, it was a decision to embrace the uncertainty and see where it would lead, knowing that whatever happened, their bond was worth fighting for. The story didn't end with a grand declaration of love. It ended with a promise to take the journey together, to face whatever challenges came their way, and to learn from each other. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. And that, in the end, was enough. As they sat together that evening, watching the sunset through the windows, Alex and Zara knew that this was just the beginning of something extraordinary. It was a journey neither of them could have predicted, but one they were both ready to face, side by side.